Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress. Happy New Year, and this is a new video in the Viewers Game series. This is number 157. The game was played by a student of mine. Apart from running this YouTube channel, I also teach chess online. If you're interested, please email me at classroomchess@gmail.com. My student's name is Aran and he is from the UK, the United Kingdom in Europe. I've only recently started working with him and we had a session very recently where we discussed the chess saying of passed pawns must be pushed. The day after our online training session, Aran played this game. Let's have a look. Aran was white, he has a rating of 545 on chess.com. That is a rapid rating, and his opponent was Kocham Robin with a rating of 524. And Kocham Robin played the French defense. Knight f3 from Aran. The main line is d4 and then d5, and then white can play knight d2, that is the Tarrasch variation of the French defense. He can play e4, e5, the advanced variation, or he can play the most dynamic variation with knight c3. But as mentioned, after e6, Aran played knight f3. That's also fine, developing the knight towards the center. d5, that pawn was taken, e takes, d4 and knight c6. Here bishop b5 is the main move according to the database. Most grandmasters that had this position on the board played knight b5 here, but knight c3 is also a move that makes a lot of sense, played by Aran. Bishop b4 pinning the knight, a3 kicking that bishop, and the bishop took on c3. b takes and knight g2 e7. Played after a long think, 53 seconds, that's a long think in a 10-minute game. Bishop d3 developing and bishop f5. And so far Aran has played really well, and now he took on f5, and this is probably the first move by Aran which shows that he is not a master level player. None of the strong players in my database took voluntarily on f5 in this position. As the 3 Fs saying goes, swapping a piece should either be forced or fabulous, and otherwise forget about it, the 3 Fs. In this case, taking on f5 is not forced, and there is also not a fabulous point to the move, so then white should have forgotten about it. It's not a bad move, but it's not the best move in the position. Because after knight takes f5, white has helped black, putting that knight on a better square. Aran castled, and here black also should have castled, but he played queen f6 instead. And with the king still in the center, Aran gives a check. Knight c2 e7 and bishop f4, developing his last piece. Good play from Aran. Here black probably should have castled again, but he played king d7, and that is a very strange move. Why not stuck the king safely in the corner if you can? King d7, especially with queen still on the board, is not great for black. The king is not very happy in the middle of the board. Rook a2 e1 and rook a2 e8, and here Aran played h3. Bishop g5 would have been a good alternative, harassing the queen, and also the bishop was unprotected on f4. And we see black making use of that later. It's always good to keep your pieces protected. That's why I like bishop g5 here. But a3 was played, knight c6, and now that is a discovered attack on the queen, so queen b5 from Aran, and here you really have to play something like king c8. The king is happier on c8 than it is on d7, more protection around it, and also you're protecting the pawn on b7 that way. But black played a bad one here. He played a6, attacking the queen, but Aran says, thank you very much for the pawn, I'll take it. And now black played knight c takes d4. This is an important moment in the game. It's a nice combination, making use of the unprotected bishop on f4. Quite a good combination, but it has one little flaw. And do you see it? If you want to put the video on pause. What is the refutation of knight takes d4? It is not very difficult. Because there is a mate in one in the position. Queen takes c7 would have finished the game on the spot. After 17 moves only. But after knight c takes d4, both players had this blind spot. They did not spot that queen takes c7 is checkmate. Aran recaptures on d4. Knight takes d4, and there's still a checkmate on c7, but Aran recaptured with the pawn, and now queen takes f4, taking that unprotected bishop. Black has won his pawn back with this little exchange, but he has a number of very weak pawns in his camp, and Aran took one of them. And now the a-pawn is a passed pawn, and we will see that that pawn will be pushed. The theme of this video. g5 from black, queen b5 check, c6, queen b7 check, king d6 and queen b4 check, covering the d-pawn which was attacked by black's queen. King c7, and now it's probably time to start pushing that pawn, Aran, but he played queen a5 check first, king d6, and he took on e8. Is that capture forced or fabulous? Not really, but on the other hand, if you're up in material, it's good to get pieces off the board. Black recaptured, another check, king c7, another check, king d6, and one more check. Black played king d7, not going for a move repetition, and now finally Aran starts pushing the a-pawn. Yes, he could have pushed it before, but on the other hand, it is good to not rush in chess. And Aran definitely didn't rush. He played a number of checks to find the ideal position for the queen, and then he pushed the a-pawn. Very nice. Rook e2, black is looking for counterplay, attacking the c-pawn. Queen b7 check on move 29, and really black has to interpose the queen here. But black played a bad one. He played king d8, and that's giving up on the c6 pawn, and at the same time now the c2 pawn is protected. Black should have taken the d4 pawn here, and then Aran would have pushed that pawn forward. But here on move 30, black gets a brain freeze after queen takes c6 from white. He did not take on d4. After less than 2 seconds of thought, he took on f2. And that move is very difficult to understand. It just costs a queen. Rook takes f2 was played. Thank you very much, said Aran, for the queen. Rook e1 check, king h2. White is just a queen up. And let's see how this game finished. h5. Aran took another pawn with check. King e8, another check. King e7, and there goes that a-pawn. Passed pawns must be pushed. g4, black tries to get something going on the king side, but he does not have enough material. H takes, g3 was played, it wasn't necessary, but why not? f5, black could have easily resigned here. Queen b5, king f6, and the pawn marches on. King g6, one more pawn move, and now that pawn needs to be stopped. Black played rook e8 within 2 seconds and had missed that the rook is unprised there. Aran took it and black resigned. Aran was chuffed with his game, he told me on Facebook Messenger, and I understand why. I am chuffed as well, especially since we have been talking about pushing those passed pawns, and in the next game Aran plays he can put it into practice, and it won him the game. Well played to Aran. And before we go, let me show you this. A chess Christmas tree sent to me by another chess student called Ronan. If you want your game to be showcased on Chess to Impress, you can send it to me by email to classroomchess64@gmail.com. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the Chess to Impress channel and please leave a comment. I will read them all and I will reply to them all. If you liked the video, it would be great if you could share it on social media by clicking the share button on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram, on Twitter and on Facebook. This is Rick for Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.